Um, I'm delighted to see so many familiar faces from our leadership in the past here, and seems like we're going to have a splendid and memorable day today. This event is co-sponsored by the Albany Historical Society and Transition Albany. So it seems as though this is a synergy that's been waiting to happen. The wealth of experience, the deep leadership that we can see around us, and we've been able to be the beneficiaries of in Albany these many years, and the present focus and the future focus of Transition Albany, which is looking to a set of exigencies that we're facing that have never really seen the light, certainly in recent times. So anyway, what our format will be today is we're going to have select presentations, comments from invited presenters. Historical Society representatives have arranged for some knowledgeable people that are going to speak on the subject of Albany's resiliency, the places we come from in terms of being able to do for ourselves without being dependent on commercial products, and a lot of related things. I mean, our ties to our communities, our merchants, our institutions, schools. So that's the broad theme that we're going to want to really keep centermost so that we can give some emphasis to these continuities that we need to really prize and value. Then we're going to have an hour where we're going to have more open-ended participation from the people that are here and some others. So maybe Joan, you'd like to say a little bit about the Historical Society part of this, because that's sort of there's Joan Larson, a longtime leader in Historical Society.
And Campfire with your wife. Well, I want to thank all of my chosen, pardon me? I want to thank Bill Lewis for giving me a bad time. Even though he's moved out of town, he's still at it. No, I really appreciate all of you guys coming today, and we're hoping the weather stays nice enough for us to enjoy this. I think you all have great stories to tell. I know a few times we've gotten together, you've all been able to share and join in and talk to us about what it was like here in Albany. So we all love it, and we're all glad to see you. So I think Catherine has a word.
I know some of you are wondering, whatever is Transition Albany? Why do we need a transition Albany? We've got a perfectly good Albany as it is. And what's happening here? I've lived in Albany 11 years now, and I love this place. And my stepson, he says Albany is the best place to live in the entire world. At least that's what he said. That was what he said before he went to college.
He's telling you the truth too.
Yes. Transition Albany is part of an international movement of grassroots, from the grassroots. People, just regular people, who are saying, we're worried. We're worried about the fact that our economy is based on endless growth, and we only have so many resources in the earth. So there's a fallacy to begin with. So we're seeing all kinds of hiccups and bumps in the economy, and I don't know whether they're going to pick up and everything's going to run along smoothly like before or not. But I'd rather be ready than not ready. And then we're also worried that maybe oil, on which everything that we've come to depend is based, from this microphone to the battery to how we all got here, is also maybe coming to an end. So the idea of a transition town is to start looking at what we have here already, how we could make a good show of surviving a difficult time. So even you could think about an earthquake, how are we going to survive? How are we going to take care of our own needs in terms of food, energy, do we know each other, do we know our neighbors? And a lot of the values that I think used to be very common 30, 40, 50 years ago are now very uncommon. And so I was very happy when Joan told me that she had a vision of a picnic in the park with people telling their stories, and I said, oh, well, Transition Albany would love to help you make that happen. So here we are. And thank you all for coming, and thank you, Gerhard, for being our MC.
Well, the format's going to be, we're going to have a timer going, and we think that maybe 5 minutes makes sense. As I mean, well, we're going to start out talking about, I think, transportation, if we can. If somebody wants to talk about how we've had various.
We had a hell of a time with the horses.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the ideas are that we've had the key system, we had interurban trolleys. They were a big part. I recall somebody did a nice DVD, CD of recounting somebody that lived by the key route. One of our Albany citizens was selling them at one of our events. So transportation is a natural one, I think, for food. Maybe we can just start, maybe Walt, you want to start if we move this way? Well, just how you came.
Maury on the bicycles.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, I think we can talk about how we came to Albany.
Well, I'm here under false pretenses. I'm not a storyteller, but you've got some great storytellers here. I think on transportation, I'd like to bring back the dinky. Anyone know what the dinky was? Aha, West Bray. You used to catch the dinky. It was was it electric, or it was electric, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a miniature streetcar, and at the terminus, it was in North Bray on Gilman Street. Okay, you used to, if you wanted to go down to Oakland like my mother did every month or so, she was a very skilled crocheter, and she went down there and she got yarn, and she brought it home and made doilies and that sort of stuff, and took me along. I was about 5, 6, 7 years old then. One day we stopped at the Paramount Theater down here and saw him Gone with the Wind. And you know, it almost put me to sleep until they got to Atlanta and they burned it down. That was pretty good. Anyway, Dinky went from there. They went through what they call the Alone walkway up to just by where the BART station is, University in Sacramento. And then they caught the key system into Oakland. So I said, let's bring back the Dinky.
Pull this whole thing out. Pull it out like that. And you come back.
You know, it'd be great if all of us could remember some of the things.
Well, all right.
We can't stress
I have to admit
the
that I
cord
was
too
not
much.
born in Albany. I was born in Berkeley, in West Berkeley, on 8th and Parker Street, which is below all the delicate and all the fancy ones. Anyway, when we talk about transportation, I remember that dinky, though I never had to take it, because we used both. All right, we used just leave it. We used both the Keys Southern Pacific, and it was, my father worked in San Francisco. We had a set of grandparents in San Francisco, and if you wanted to get to San Francisco, why, you walked to one of the commute places, the commute trains, and you got on the train, and you went on the train until you got to the Oakland Mole, and then you got on a ferry boat, and the ferry boat took about 20 minutes to go across, and if your dad was good, he let you, my dad would bring crumbs along, and also a little bit of cotton, so we could feed the seagulls and then wipe off what they left for us. But at any rate, then when you got to San Francisco, and it took about 20 minutes to get across the bay, then you got a streetcar. But I remember one special time that included Albany, and this is probably what you want to hear. I think it was where the Oaks Theater is now, and it may have been what's now the Oaks Theater. I'm not exactly sure because I was just a kid.